2, 1, live.
Good morning, everyone. I'm City Council Member Louis Vieira, Chairperson of the HART Board of Directors. Please silence all electronic devices for the duration of this meeting. Welcome to the July 21st, 2025 Board of Directors meeting, which is now called into order. The meeting format is hybrid with board members physically present at HART Administrative Office at 1201 East 7th Avenue, Florida Conference Room, and participating via communication media technology. Please stand if you're able to do so and join us in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the
United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Roll call, please.
Chair Vieira.
Here.
Director Wolstall indicated his absence. Director Williams.
Here.
Director Cameron Cepeda.
Present.
Director Hartfield.
Present.
Director Hobbs indicated his absence. Director King.
Present.
Director Knight.
Present.
Director McElpatrick.
Here.
Director Mechanic.
Here.
Director Miller.
Present.
Director Myers.
Here.
Director Niebrick.
Present.
Director Schisler.
Here.
You do have a quorum.
Thank you very much. Board Member Wosel wanted me to read this into the record. Today's board meeting overlaps with Tampa Bay Water meeting, of which I also represent Hillsborough County. Unfortunately, they are in jeopardy of not making quorum without my presence, so I'll regrettably miss today's HART meeting. Sincerely, Commissioner Josh Wosel. So he wanted me to read this into the record to make sure that folks knew. Next, we're going to talk about our late board member, Councilwoman Gwen Henderson, who of course passed on tragically. I'll read a statement here and just talk a little. We're deeply saddened by the passing of City Council member Gwen Henderson, a dedicated public servant and steadfast advocate for our community. She joined the HART Board in June 2023 and brought with her a passion for equitable and accessible public transportation. Her legacy will live on through the many lives she touched and the community progress she helped shape. We thank Councilwoman Henderson for her service to HART to the community. May she rest in peace. So we're going to do a moment of silence, but does anybody want to say anything? Anybody want to say anything? Well, I will then. I sat next to Gwen in City Council, and she was like really. Y'all ever sit next to somebody who's hilarious to sit next to? That was her. Because if she liked you, you knew it. If she didn't like you, you probably know it. And that was her. And just, she'd make little remarks, little jokes and all that stuff. And if you knew about her, she was originally from Carver City. And y'all know Carver City in the city of Tampa, which was a working class African-American area that was built for returning Black World War II and Korean War veterans. And that was her dad, who was a Korean War veteran. And she always talked with a lot of pride about his service, pride, but also hurt and pain, because he served in a segregated, newly desegregated military. Military was desegregated in 48, but obviously a lot of racism. And she talked about him, having valor, but then being told to clean toilets in a very disrespectful way and so forth. I always remember her talking about, gosh, I forgot his name, her great-great-grandfather, who was a slave, who died, a liberated slave who died in 1932 and could never read. He died illiterate because he was liberated when he was 15 years old. Imagine being 15 the first 15 years of your life and you're enslaved. And he never learned to read. And she always talks with great pride that his great-great-granddaughter would become an elected official, a public school teacher at Jefferson, and owner of a bookstore that told stories on people like her great-great-grandfather, Black English. So, Gwen was a special lady. I have no filter sometimes. There were times when I was like, yeah, go Gwen. And there's times when I'm like, oh, Gwen, you know what I mean? It's because she told it the way that it was and the way that she thought it was and all that stuff. And even whenever the 2 or 3 times that I'd be like, oh man, man. Literally within 20 minutes, I'm like, I can't resist her charms. So, you know, she was a good lady, and I'll miss her. And I know in Tampa, we're going to do something nice for her. And I saw that Jefferson renamed the auditorium after her because she went there. Oh yeah, she went there, graduated, was a proud public school teacher. So again, she was a good lady. But more than anything, she was really funny. She was hilarious. So that's all. Just, I wanted to speak from the heart of her. So, oh, I'm sorry. Thank you. Board Director Williams, go ahead, ma'am.
Oh, thank you, Chair Vera. I just wanted to say that what I know mostly about Gwen Henderson is that she pushed the lines. She never really stayed within the boundaries. She always thought, you know, what she did, she took her education, the bookstore and so forth to educate others. But the other thing she did was always ask questions about what was possible, not what we were doing, but what is possible and what can we push the limits so that we could gain more groundwork. And so I love that she took risks, and she took risks based on the fact that she was going to do more and better for everyone else in the community. So I thank her for her limits and not recognizing limits in the way that we see them today, but what was possible and what we could achieve based on the roles that we played in being on boards and educations and in the community.
Yep.
So I hope everyone remembers that about her.
Board Member Hartfield.
So I just wanted to add to what Chair Vieira had said, as well as Director Williams has said, and just echo the sentiments that what I knew as I developed the relationship with Councilwoman Henderson. She was a beautiful spirit and a stateswoman who really looked after the interests of the people that she represented. So for what I know, she was just a great person and a beautiful spirit. So I wanted to add that to record.
Thank you, sir. Anyone else? Yes, sir. Go ahead.
I've only had the privilege of knowing Director Henderson for the length of time we've both been on the board. I had the privilege of being able to sit next to her, and I would agree with you. She was very funny. She took her job seriously, but she didn't take herself very seriously at all. And she'd crack me up with just little side jibs that she would make while these proceedings were going on. So she will be missed.
Thank you, sir. Anyone else? Okay. Thank you. And so we'll have a moment of silence, but I'll tell just a quick, a lot of Gwen stories. Remember one time we had a hearing. I don't even know if I should talk about it, but I will. It was on something involving Carver City, and I voted for something that she wasn't too pleased about. And then the next week, I'm talking about something, and I mentioned, yeah, I live in Hunters Green, and she looked at me. She goes, "Must be nice living in Hunters Green." And I went, "It's the Carver City vote." It was the Carver City vote. So again, that was Gwen. She always let you know where she stands. And again, I love her, and we mourn her. So let's have a moment of silence, if we may, for Board Member Henderson. Thank you. Thank you very much. And thank you, everybody, for your thoughts and comments and so forth. Next is public comment. We have 3 minutes per speaker, a 30-minute time limit. And Board Counsel, if you don't mind with your statement.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Good morning, Directors. Jan McLean, Board Counsel. I want to read the statement into the record, please, prior to our public comment. Members of the public have the right to speak on any relevant issue during the public comment process. However, certain items may be rooted in contract, pending legal recourse, including any proceedings regarding any union contracts or union proceedings, or prohibited by this board's policy, which prohibits involvement by the board in the normal employer-employee relationship between the CEO and any other employee or employee union of HART. While the public could address these matters, board members are advised not to discuss them during this meeting. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. We appreciate you. The HART Board member, or strike that, the HART Board of Directors welcomes comments from citizens about any issue or concern. Your opinions are valued in terms of providing input to board members. When addressing the board, comments shall not be directed against any board member or staff member, but rather directed at the issues This provides a mutual respect between the board member, staff, and the public. The board has set aside 30 minutes for public comment. As stated in HART Board Policy 210, subsection 4A, the chair will call on speakers by name in order in which their requests to speak have been received. When addressing the board, please state your name and speak clearly. Up to 3 minutes are allowed for each speaker. Please refrain from discussions on any matter brought up during public comment until after all public comment has been completed. Okay, first we have Mr. John Green, followed by Karen Buckner. Go ahead, Mr. Green. Oh, he's not here? Okay, there you go. Okay, Ms. Buckner, you here? Yes, ma'am. Oh, and I'm sorry, over there. Yep, in the front.
Well, thank you so much for having me. It's an honor to be here. I'm just making this brief. Being that I've slowed down in my older age and I don't drive in Tampa, I use HART quite a bit, and I just want to say, start by saying I think it's wonderful. I think they do a great job. I'm really not here to complain. I'm very thankful for it. But I really had a question. I'm not real sure if this is the place to ask, but at least I get to see what you guys do. I just found out you do this. So I wondered if you knew if there was any kind of update on the Route 6. That's the one I ride the most. And I've heard different things. It's a very busy route. A lot of people use it. And I've heard some rumors about maybe they're going to split the route up, or a lot of times it's very late. And just wondered if you knew anything at all on that, or where I should go to find out.
And before I answer your question, are you finished with public comment with your comments?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
And Councilman Vera, I just want to say to you, God bless you. You are just, I got to know you through the Terrace Park Neighborhood Association, and we just so appreciate everything you do for us.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much. Thank you. And by the way, board, I always say this in city council, this is why I don't like the rule on not mentioning board members, because if somebody praises us, we're not going to cite it. But if somebody goes, Councilman Vera, I think you're the devil, I'm going to go, this is a violation of the rules. So it's probably unconstitutional, but whatever.
I
but
apologize.
yeah, no, and you did nothing wrong. But so ma'am, we can't answer that. But what I'll do is I'll get is there a staff member? There you go. So there's a nice lady there who's going to help you with that, ma'am.
Great.
Thank you,
Okay.
ma'am.
Thank you so
Thank you.
much, Councilman Vera.
Yeah.
And thank you all. God bless you.
God bless you. Thank you, ma'am. Anyone else here for public comment? Okay. Next, we move to approval of minutes. Next agenda item is approval of the meeting minutes from the June 2nd, 2025 Board of Directors regular meeting, which are included in the board packet. Is there a motion to approve the minutes? We have a motion by Board Member Hartfield, seconded by Board Member Knight. Roll call, please.
Chair Viera,
Yes.
Director Schisler,
Yes.
Director Cameron Cepeda,
Yes.
Director Hartfield,
Yes.
Director King,
Yes.
Director Knight,
Yes.
Director McElpatrick,
Yes.
Director Mechanic,
Yes.
Director Miller,
Yes.
Director Myers,
Yes.
Director Niebrick,
Yes.
Director Williams.
Yes.
Motion passes unanimously.
Thank you very much. Next, we have the Tampa Historic Streetcar Board of Directors appointment. Our HART Board Counsel, Ms. Jan McLean, will lead us through this process.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Jane McLean, Board Counsel. Good morning, board members. With the recent change in the passing of Ms. Henderson, the change in the HART Board membership created a vacancy on the Tampa Historic Streetcar Board, we also known as the THS Board of Directors. HART appoints 3 members to that board and up to 3 alternates. At this time, we need to have consideration of a new appointment to fill the position of Ms. Henderson's after her passing. And if I could say, let me give you a little bit of additional information before I make that statement. This board meets monthly on the 4th Tuesday of the month at 1 p.m. And today we need to appoint 1 regular member and at least 1 to 2 alternates in support of the quorum for the meetings. And I did want to impress upon us that although we do need the appointment to fulfill our 3 appointments, it is important if we could consider the appointment, if somebody wants to volunteer, or the nomination and they accept, of alternates, so that we would have the backup in the event that somebody isn't available. So if, at this time, if anybody has any nominations for members and alternates, and we also accept the self-nomination if somebody wants to volunteer, and then the board would vote. Could I have any nominations for the appointed position?
Do I call them or do you? Or because board member Cepeda had her hand up, I think.
You do. You do, sir.
I do. Okay, thank you. Board member Cepeda, go ahead, ma'am.
Thank you. So there was maybe a possibility they were thinking of having this quarterly instead of monthly because of an issue with having a quorum. Is that
I don't know.
I have
Possible.
not heard
I
that
didn't hear
either,
that.
although
Move that to
I
quarterly?
have heard the quorum issue in various different
Yes.
bodies. But I don't know if a decision was made as to change the schedule. At this point, it's still a monthly meeting.
Board member Hartfield. And if I may just, and was there anything else, ma'am, or?
no? That may affect someone's
Yeah.
volunteering for that position.
I
If
get
it
it.
was quarterly instead of
Yeah.
monthly.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Mr. Chair, I volunteer.
There you go. Choose me, Lord. There you go. Do we have anyone else who'd like it? Would anyone like to nominate themselves to not be on the board?
I
Okay.
thought I was already on the board for Streetcar.
Board member Williams?
Yes, Ms. Williams is
Yes.
already on the board,
Okay,
and Mr. Schisler as well. But we
Okay.
need, we appoint three, and so
Great.
this is to fill the third position.
okay. So do we have a motion to appoint board member Gary Hartfield, who has kindly
So moved.
volunteered?
Second.
Board member Schisler, a motion for this, seconded by board member Myers. Roll call, please.
Chair Viera,
Yes.
Director Schisler,
Yes.
Director Cameron Cepeda,
Yes.
Director Hartfield,
Yes.
Director King,
Yes.
Director Knight,
Yes.
Director McElpatrick,
Yes.
Director Mechanic,
Yes.
Director Miller,
Yes.
Director Myers,
Yes.
Director Niebrick,
Yes.
Director Williams.
Yes.
Motion passes unanimously. Thank you.
And if I could, Mr.
Yes,
Chair,
ma'am.
just following up on that and the consideration of having an alternate, if anybody would like to suggest a nomination or nominate themselves as an alternate, that would be appreciated.
Yes. Board member Niebrick.
I will volunteer as an alternate if there's no others that are seeking to be in that role.
Okay, great. Anyone else?
To approve.
Okay, we have a motion by board member Schisler, seconded by
Hartfield.
board member King. There you go. For board member Niebrick, let's have a roll call, please.
Chair Viera,
Yes.
Director Schisler,
Yes.
Director Cameron Cepeda,
Yes.
Director Hartfield,
Yes.
Director King,
Yes.
Director Knight,
Yes.
Director McElpatrick,
Yes.
Director Mechanic,
Yes.
Director Miller,
Yes.
Director Myers,
Yes.
Director Niebrick,
Yes.
Director Williams.
Yes.
Motion passes unanimously. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Okay, next we move to the HART consent agenda. The HART Joint Finance and Audit and Operations and Safety Committee met on June 16th, 2025, and recommended approval of items 5A and B. Is there a motion to approve resolution R2025-07-25?
Second.
Motion by board member King, seconded by board member Hartfield. Unless there's any discussion on this item, roll call, please.
Chair Viera,
Yes.
Director Schisler,
And I'm so sorry. I apologize. If you don't mind, in making that, this is for approval of 2025-0725 and 2025-07-26. Is that correct? Who made the motion? Was it? Okay. For both? Okay, just making sure. Thank you. Okay, go ahead.
Chair Viera,
Yes.
Director Schisler,
Yes.
Director Cameron Cepeda,
Yes.
Director Hartfield,
Yes.
Director King,
Yes.
Director Knight,
Yes.
Director McElpatrick,
Yes.
Director Mechanic,
Yes.
Director Miller,
Yes.
Director Myers,
Yes.
Director Niebrick,
Yes.
Director Williams.
Yes.
Motion passes unanimously. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next, we have items with presentations. The HART Joint Finance and Audit Operations Safety Committee met on June 16th of this year and recommended approval of item 6A, Resolution R2025-07-07 or -27, excuse me. Resolution of the HART Transit Authority of Hillsborough County, Florida, approving fiscal year 2025 budget amendment to our CO Drainville. You are recognized to provide an overview of the item, sir.
Thank you, Chair. Good morning, board members. The Florida Statute, Chapter 189418, allows for a budget amendment within the current fiscal year once the budget is adopted. In compliance with the federal statute, the Florida statute, the Hillsborough Transit Authority has incorporated this requirement in the HART budget process policy. Section 92030, paragraph 2A of the HART policy manual states that all budget amendments that increase the annual appropriations require the approval of the HART board and are authorized by resolution following a duly advertised public hearing. This resolution is necessary to increase the appropriations of the operating fund. Ms. Melanie Williams, Director of Budgets and Grants, will provide the details on this amendment.
Good morning. Good morning. My name is Melanie Williams, Director of Budgets and Grants, and this is the presentation on the FY26 proposed operating budget amendment. The presentation will include the operating revenues, the operating expenses, public outreach, and board resolution. This is the FY25 proposed amended operating budget for revenues. Revenues are trending at the budgeted amount. To balance the budget for the increase in appropriations, a transfer of $2,155,929 will be made from the operating reserves. The total proposed operating revenues are $119,461,494. This next line is the FY25 proposed amended operating budget for expenses. This is a balanced budget, so the proposed expenses are $119,461,494. Looking at the salaries and wages, the amended budget is $58,043,689. This is an increase by a net amount of $635,736, and this is primarily due to the impact of the emergency and overtime pay. Next, we have fringe benefits at $14,996,067. This is an increase by a net amount of $1,307,449. And this is primarily due to the pension expenses exceeding the budget we initially allocated. We have the operation contract services at $11,407,226. And this is a net increase of $1,307,449. And this is due to the increase of the paratransit service. We have parts and supplies at $6,330,356, an increase at $78,916. We have insurance costs at $3,364,458, and an increase at $39,057. And then moving down a little bit at marketing and printing, it's budgeted at $497,172 with an increase of $19,329. And all other operating expenses are expected to decrease by a net amount of $2,148,502. In total, this is a net increase of $2,155,929, or a 2% increase from the adopted budget. Okay, so this is the public outreach. When we presented at the committee meeting on June 16th, we stated that HART will conduct public outreach and conduct public hearings. These are the various methods of advertising and communication to the public. The public hearing was conducted on Wednesday, July 9th. HART did not receive any public comments. There was one attending who asked questions to staff related to the HART service. This leads us to the board resolution of Hillsborough Transit Authority of Hillsborough County, Florida, approving the fiscal year 2025 budget amendment. And this concludes my presentation.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Any questions? Any questions? None? Okay, do we have a motion to approve?
Second.
A move so by Board Member Meyer, seconded by Board Member King. A roll call, please.
Chair Viera,
Yes.
Director Schisler,
Yes.
Director Cameron Cepeda,
Yes.
Director Hartfield,
Yes.
Director King,
Yes.
Director Knight, Director McAlpatrick,
Yes.
Director Mechanic,
Yes.
Director Miller,
Yes.
Director Myers,
Yes.
Director Niebrick,
Yes.
Director Williams.
Yes.
Motion passes unanimously. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Board. Next, we have Resolution R2025-07-28. Our CO Dreamville, you're recognized to provide an overview, sir.
Thank you, Chair. So this is the annual certification of the proposed ad valorem tax millage rate for FY 2026 budget. Pursuant to the Florida Statute 200-065, HART has 35 days from receipt of the certified property value to advise the property appraiser of its prior year millage rate, its current year proposed millage rate, its current rollback rate, the date, time, and place which a public hearing will be held to consider the tentative millage rate and the tentative budget. Ms. Melanie Williams, Director of Budget and Grants, has a presentation for the board this morning.
Good morning again. Chair, members of the board, and Mr. Drainville. Again, Melanie Williams, Director of Budget and Grants. This is the presentation. This presentation will include an overview of the historical and proposed ad valorem revenues, data to certify to the property appraiser, the next steps, and then the board resolution. This chart provides a 10-year comparison of the millage and ad valorem revenue to be levied from the years FY 2017, from FY 2017 to FY 2026, focusing on FY 2026. Based on the proposed millage rate of 0.5 mils, it is estimated that 87,314,597 of revenue will be generated. By statute, HART can only budget at 95% of the ad valorem proceeds. So therefore, our FY 26 ad valorem budget is 82,948,867. And this represents a $5.2 million or a 6.73% increase over the FY 25. So this is the data to certify to the property appraiser. The prior year millage for FY 2025 is 0.5. The proposed millage rate for FY 26 is 0.5. The proposed millage rate of 0.5 is 4.87% above the rollback rate of 0.4768. Now, the rollback rate is the tax rate that produces the same amount of tax dollars as the previous year. Calculation of this rollback rate is governed by the Florida statute. Then we have the public hearing to approve the tentative millage rate and tentative budget is scheduled for September 8th, 2025 at 5:30 p.m. at Hillsborough Transit Authority at 1201 East 7th Avenue in Tampa, Florida, 33605. This shows the next steps in the process. On July 23rd, we will certify the taxable values to the property appraiser, provide the prior year and current year proposed millage rate, provide current year rollback rate, and announce the date, time, and location of the public hearings. And then on September 8th, we will hold a first public hearing to adopt the tentative FY 26 millage rate and tentative budget. And then finally, on September 22nd, we will hold the second and final public hearing to adopt the final FY 26 millage rate and the annual budget. And this brings us to the board resolution of the Hillsborough Transit Authority of Hillsborough County, Florida, certifying the proposed ad valorem tax millage rate for the fiscal year 2026 budget. And that concludes my presentation.
Thank you, ma'am. Is there a motion to approve resolution certifying the proposed ad valorem tax millage rate for the fiscal year 26 budget?
Move for approval.
Motion by Board Member Myers, I believe first seconded by Board Member Knight. Any discussion? Okay, roll call, please.
Chair Viera?
Yes.
Director Schisler?
Yes.
Director Cameron Cepeda?
Yes.
Director Hartfield?
Yes.
Director King?
Yes.
Director Knight? Director McElpatrick?
Yes.
Director Mechanic?
Yes.
Director Miller?
Yes.
Director Myers?
Yes.
Director Niebrick?
Yes.
Director Williams?
Yes.
Motion passes unanimously. Thank you.
Thank you, Board. Next on the agenda is a presentation of proposed fiscal year 26 budget and fiscal year 26 service plan. Our CEO Drainville, please introduce this item, sir.
Thank you, Chair. So as part of the development of the organizational budget, staff reviews the service levels. This was one of the major components of the budget, and Ms. Sobush will join Ms. Williams to share the service level assumptions for the board's review and comments. Any comments received by the board will have additional consideration for incorporation to the FY 2026 budget. As a reminder, the board started reviewing the proposed budget a couple of months ago, and so far staff presented the proposing operating budget. The board approved the millage rate this morning. In August, the budget will be reviewed again by the Finance and Audit Committee, followed by 2 public hearings in September. Ms. Williams?
Good morning again. Right, this is the updated presentation from June 2nd, 2025 for the fiscal year 2026 proposed operating budget, proposed capital budget, and the 5-year capital plan. This is subject to change based on the feedback from the board. The final board will be presented to the board. The final budget will be presented to the board in the public hearing on September 22nd for final approval. The agenda for today's discussion is the FY26 budget development calendar. We have the budget assumptions for revenues and expenses, the proposed operating budget, FY26, FY20, FY26, FY30, 5-year capital plan for summary and detail. Then we have the proposed FY26 capital budget in summary and detail, the fund reserves, and then finally the FY26 service plan. This is the budget calendar. This is the first 3 dates since today, July 21st, for the 3 presentations that I'm giving today. And then in August 18th, we have a board presentation to the Finance and Audit Committee, emphasizing on the capital budget and plan. September 8th, we'll have a first public hearing where the board adopts the tentative millage and tentative budget. And then we have the advertising for the second public hearing for September 17th through the 20th. Now, the advertising for the public hearing on the first for September 8th is included on the back of the property tax bill advertised by the property tax appraiser. And then the second and final public hearing is September 22nd, and that's where the board adopts the final millage and final budget. This is a summary of the FY26 operating budget. The overall increase is 6%. We have the proposed revenues at the ad valorem at 6.7% increase. The proposed expenses is the fuel and oil increase of 13%. We have the administrative other, an increase of 13%. Parts and supplies, an increase of 7%. Fringe benefits and healthcare, increase of 6%. And operation contract services, increase of 3%. The proposed for FY 2026 budget, we have the operating budget at $126,420,186, and the proposed capital budget at $74,187,938, with a total FY 2026 proposed budget at $200,608,124. The next few slides will go over the budget assumptions for revenue. The Avalon tax revenues is based on the proposed millage rate of 0.5 mils. It is estimated that 87,314,957 of revenues. By statute, HART can only budget at 95% of the Avalon proceeds. Therefore, the budget assumption for the Avalon taxes is at 82,948,867. This represents a $5.2 million increase or 6.7% increase over FY25. There are no funds are budgeted to be transferred to capital for FY26 from the Avalon. This slide shows the historical and proposed Avalon revenue for the last 10 years. It shows the Avalon taxes to be levied, the Avalon budgeted, the Avalon collected, and then we have the prior year change budgeted and the prior year change actual with the percentages. Next, we have the federal operating grants at $21,816,708. We have the state operating grants at $7,990,998. We have the Fair Pass revenues at $9,720,864. Local contributions at $1,791,250. Advertising income at $1,500,000. Other income at $251,823. Tampa Historical Streetcar, $4,351,138. The interest income at $1,466,320. The FY26 budget includes a transfer to the operating reserves of the $2,155,929. And then we have the fund balance transfer to capital at $3,261,853. Next few slides, we'll go over the budget assumptions for expenses. We have salaries and wages at $58,957,312, and that is based on an FTEs at 121.75. Fringe benefits at $15,447,528. Healthcare at $14,878,299. We have operation contract services at $11,743,504. Parts and supplies at $6,793,035. We have fuel at $4,770,857. Administrative other, $3,554,035. Administrative contract services at $2,140,581. Legal services at $595,750. Utilities at $1,376,008. Marketing and printing at $527,737. Taxes and fees at $605,034. And this is a summary of the operating budget for revenues. And as you see, it's $126,420,186. Next is the expenses. This is a balanced budget, so the total operating expenses is at $126,420,186. The HART Board policy requires a minimum of 90-day reserve in operating expenses. Based on the FY26 proposed operating budget, the required Reserve amount is 31,172,101. And then we have a projected balance as of October 1, which is at 37,283,617. Next, this is a schedule of all our reserves. We have a total for the current at 48,927,083. And then we have the projected for the total at October 1st, 2025 at 45,366,479. And then we also have the projected for the end of the fiscal year FY26 at 9/30 at 47,754,567. This is the proposed five-year capital plan. The first year of the capital plan is the capital budget. The total capital plan for 5 years is $328,969,504. Going through each of the categories, the vehicle and maintenance total for the capital plan is $113,768,461. For facilities and construction, we have a total 5-year capital plan at $146,897,268. Total 5-year capital plan for technologies is $10,518,391. Bus stops and shelters, 5-year capital plan at $24,853,925. The bus rapid transit at $30 million. The planning and studies total at $500,000, and the safety and security total at $2,431,459, with the total 5-year capital plan at that $328,969,504. So this is this capital, as mentioned before, the first year of the capital plan is the capital budget. And this is the capital budget summary where you have the revenue sources. And we see that discretionary grants is $29,968,475. We have the capital reserves at $2,597,054. We have FDOT at our Florida Department of Transportation at $3,219,053. And the next several categories is the federal funds, community property funding at 1.6. And then we have the formula grant of 5339 at $3,265,887. We have the formula 5337 at $1,182,200. We have section 20005 pilot TLD land use planning study at $300,000. The FHWA, which is the Federal Highway Administration, at $21,890,759. Then we have the FTA build grant at $2 million, and then finally the 5307 at $8,161,902. With the total capital revenues at $74,187,938. This is a balanced budget, so you see the capital project categories is totaling $74,187,938. Next is the capital budget in the categories. I'm not going to go through, I'll just go through the totals through the time. Vehicles and maintenance is at $30.2 million, and there's a list of all the projects there. We have facilities and constructions at a total of $28.1 million. We have technology total at $6.2 million. Bus stops and shelters at $8 million. Planning and studies at $500,000, and then safety and security totals at $971,296. And the 5-year capital budget, I'm sorry, the 5-year, that should be total capital budget at $74,187,938. And now I would turn it over to Heather Sobush. She's the Director of Planning and Scheduling. She would go over the fiscal year 2026 service plan.
Thank you, Melanie. Good morning. So for fiscal year 26, we're assuming pretty similar service levels as we had in fiscal year 25. You'll see a slightly lower revenue miles, just assuming the Route 1 pilot is ending in January. For paratransit, we assumed the same growth rate that we experienced between 2024 and 2025 projected. Streetcar is slightly lower due to the assumption of no fifth car service. And we will have the ability to use an extra car for special events as needed, but we will not run it every weekend evening as we do currently. That's pretty much it for the service plan. It's pretty status quo. It's based on scheduled hours and miles. Paratransit has, been growing pretty rapidly, so we're working on measures to control that. But otherwise, that's the service plan, and that's the conclusion of this presentation. Turn it back to the chair for any questions.
Thank you, ma'am. Any questions or comments from board members? Board Member Hartfield, go ahead, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. For our budget contingencies, do we have any in place for a possible drop-off in ad valorem values? And also, because a significant part of our budget comes from federal dollars, do we anticipate any movement from the federal government that may affect our budget based on what we've seen so far? Those are my first two questions.
So I can address that. So we are replenishing, so we have $7 million more than in our reserves right now, and we will be replenishing the 2.2 million that we are using this year. So we have that in place. And then as far as we're very aggressive on the federal grant. So we're pursuing all grants, not letting any opportunity go by, but there hasn't been any changes from the administration that would really affect us right now. So.
Okay. I think the real estate market is shifting here in Tampa and in Hillsborough County. What do we anticipate, and how will that affect us? Is shifting meaning the values are stabilizing and probably going to get lower. So that's going to directly impact ad valorem.
Yes, actually, that's a great question, because we've been, concerned about that. We feel like the property values are probably going to plateau, and 6%, and we budgeted at 5%, came in at 6.7%. But no, we'll have to, when we come to that bridge, we'll have to cross it. But right now, we're maintaining status quo, and we'll keep the service levels that we have right now.
Thank you, Mr. Dringler.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Anyone else? Okay. Thank you very much. Now we go to our CEO report. Go ahead, sir.
So at the request.
And if I may, and thank you for the presentation, guys. Thank you. Great job. Thank you. Thank you very much. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
So at the request of Commissioner Myers, and if there's no objection, I'm going to defer my report and ask if the Dan Rodriguez from the PMO team come up and do the informational presentation on the BTI or bus shelter where we are today. Dan?
Good morning, Dan Rodriguez, HART PMO. Good morning, Chair, board members, Mr. Drainville. I'm here to give an update on the BTI program regarding bus stops and shelters. So this slide here shows the number of bus stops in our system, how many have shelters, and where they're located. Just a reminder that all these stops in the chart were obtained through a bus stops inventory in 2022. We're currently doing a new inventory as we speak. As our last bus stop inventory, we accounted for 2256 bus stops, which are where they 608 shelters. On this chart is the breakdown of the totals per district. The backlog of the numbers of stops that requires some type of improvement is still about 331. Since our last update in January, there have been 16 stops that have been improved by HART or by developers. Bus stops with shelters that are past their useful life is currently at 521. We have placed 92 new shelters, 5 more of which were added to the total, which is now at 613. The next 2 lines are the investments made over the last 5 years. Since our last meeting, our total investment has increased by $627,750. As of the date of this presentation was submitted, highlighted in the last line are the number of shelters in inventory. Just going to go through some of the projects that are kind of ongoing in various districts. Here's a list of BTI projects under construction. These are all projects to upgrade the current bus stops and address ADA issues. These projects cover the majority of the BOCC districts. Memorial Highway at George Road is in District 1. We have Hillsborough at 43rd, District 3 project, which HART received an easement from the Hillsborough County School Board. Since this presentation, these shelters have been placed, so these projects are now complete. We have Main Street at Rome and Main Street at Willow. They're in District 3. These stops, and we have 2 stops over at Davis Road in District 2, as well as the Main Street also have the shelters installed. So those 3 shelters have been placed. I believe the one at Davis, they were just ADA improvements. Next I have is some stops down in South County, 14th Avenue Southeast Corridor. There were 5 stops. They needed ADA improvements, as you can see by the picture. I apologize for the size. They were not good, so they weren't accessible. So now they're all accessible with pads. The one with the shelter had a sidewalk issue, so we corrected the sidewalk as well as the ADA crossing there. Here's a list of BTI projects that are under design. 22nd at Bush, Main Street at North Boulevard, and Rolette Park Drive at Waters Avenue. The one at Rolette Park is a bus bay. It's well needed, help with the bus pull off the road. Another one I have is 131st Avenue at 15th Street. It's in District 2. We're doing some ADA improvements there as well. You can see there is no pad for the bus stop at those locations. That concludes my update. Any questions? I'll be glad to answer.
If I may, first Board Member Myers, then Board Member Hartfield, as it was her item, and then Board Member Knight. Go ahead, ma'am.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. In District 3, how many that are not completed? I noticed the ones that you're showing completed are in the phase of being working on. But I also noticed on 21st Avenue, there's no shelter, no nothing. Folks are just standing. These are the ones I've been complaining about.
The one at the park, the one at
the park.
Al Barnes Park, yeah, that one was a little delayed. We had to do a survey for the city. The city requires that we do a survey. So we had to get a consultant in to do that survey.
But along the 21st stretch, there's nothing from, I would say 34th almost to Nebraska. Okay.
Yes, ma'am. We have one coming at Nebraska. The city built us a pad there. There is a shelter that'll be coming there shortly. It's very tough in that corridor. There's not a lot of right-of-way. There's a lot of private homes. We don't normally put shelters in front of people's houses because this tends to be a trash issue and things, people sitting there for a long time. So we don't put them in front of people's houses. And there is a long stretch of homes on that segment. A couple of places, such as near the school, near 40th Street, we had to remove some of those stops due to they didn't want a bus stop in front of the school, so we moved 1 or 2 of them around. That would have been a good place to put a shelter, so we couldn't put one there.
But just before you get to the school on 21st, there's a space right there. I think you can put right at 34th.
At 34th, yes, the one over by the child care facility that's there on the corner, right around the roundabout.
Mm-hmm.
We looked at that and we think we can fit one in there. It will have to be a little smaller because these shelters are modular, so we can make them fit. I think we can squeeze one in there. We'll look at that one next.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Board Member Hartfield and Board Member Knight. Go ahead, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you for your presentation. I was at Orient Road at the jail,
Yes.
there is approximately a 2-mile stretch before there's a bus stop for individuals that are being returned back to productive living in society. And if those individuals are released at any time, there's at least a 2-mile walk for them to get to the nearest bus stop. Have we taken a look at that? I know I'm still relatively new to the board, so I don't know if we've taken a look at that or if we've had conversations with Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office and figured out something that we could do. But I noticed about maybe a mile down the road from the jail, there's a corner store. And I had a conversation with the attendants at the corner store, and they had concerns that a number of individuals that are maybe unsavory in the community are there and they're predators waiting on our returning citizens to come out of jail. And maybe they're selling drugs or other things that may cause these individuals to recidivate. So that being said, there's at least a 2-mile walk. And if it's in the evening, there's no lighted pathway down that road. So I was just wondering, based on what's our history with that, and what can we do to address that issue?
Sadly, I tend to be the history guy here. Back in the day, we used to have a stop at the jail. The bus used to pull in, matter of fact, into the parking lot, and it was a stop right under their covered awning they had there. The route had since changed back at Mission Max, and the route no longer goes down that far. I don't believe it still goes that far yet. I don't think it goes all the way down Orient. I think it turns off. Memory doesn't serve me right now, but I know it doesn't go that far. So I think the closest stop is where the last place on Orient we are. So I don't know, maybe planning can look at that and see, but we've had a good relationship with the jail in the past, and we didn't have any issues at that bus stop. And there was a place across the street from the jail that helped people get back on their feet and gave them bus passes. And I know there's some history there, but we'll take a look at that and see what we can do.
Thank you. If you will, please keep me informed. My conversation with the representatives from Sheriff Cronster's office was really good, and they're looking for ways to work with us on that.
Okay.
They're seriously concerned about individuals that are released back into society, and they have at least, I drove it. It's a 2-mile stretch to the closest bus stop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And thank you, sir. And a very thoughtful remark too. I mean, because I know you mentioned the sheriff. The office does a lot of work in that field, and that's an area of returning citizens where we tend to be very thick-skulled about it, with terrible results in crime, family breakup, and communities, and those who want to come back and be a part of society and work hard should find a pathway. So good job. Thank you. I appreciate that. Board Member Knight, go ahead, sir.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for the presentation. Two things. First is those, if you could bring back up, the cost, District 1, District 3, I think it was about 126, 127, about 132. But the amount of expense was almost doubled for District 3. Maybe you can hit a little on that. And also, when you talk on Main Street, North Boulevard, Willow, you mentioned Rome Street, doing things, but that whole area is a lot of development going on. Do we take advantage of possibly finding out what's going on in the different areas, rebuilding and perhaps either partnership some kind of way and can utilize some of the, save some expenses by, working together, finding out what's going on in those areas. Even 21st Street, around 15th Street, they're doing things. And we need those shelters and different things, but are we taking advantage of what's already been planned? That they tearing up everything and no need of wasting money when they got to redo it anyway. But you can look back at those numbers, District 1, District 3, which you just put up there.
Yeah.
And hit on that a little bit for me.
Yeah, I appreciate your question. The costs are a little different in District 3 because it's more urban. The costs tend to be a little higher. The constructions are expensive than would be in a more rural area. We have more space to operate. Also, we have more stops, more shelters than anywhere else. In District 3 has the most, right? They have the most shelters. They have the most stops. They're in the core. So that's a lot of sidewalk already in place. So it's a lot of work to rehab it. To go on to the second thing, we do meet with developers. Mr. Dwayne Brown, I don't know if he's here right now. He is the ETI program manager, and him and we meet with developers all the time. We tend to have more favor with smaller developers. They tend to do some of the construction for us and buy shelters for us and replace them. I'm gonna just say the larger ones have not, and there are a list of them, and we'd like to maybe ask for your help, and maybe we can meet with you individually and kind of go over some of them. I'm going to say the one at Rome, we did the infrastructure upgrades. There's a lot of development on Rome and Main Street, a lot of housing there. The developer there has not, so we had still meeting with them. They are doing some now, but it takes a little more pressure to do that. So that would be some help that I would ask the board to help us with. We do meet with them. South County is pretty good. A lot of development in South County. A lot of those developments that get down there are done by developers. So we're doing better with them, but there are some strides that still need to be done, especially in the city and in our core.
How much of the services that we're contracting out?
What was that? Oh, contracting out?
Mhm.
Yes, ma'am. We have 3 engineering consulting firms that we task the designs to. We have 3 construction firms and their DBEs. We also have our standard design for our shelters. That was a bid process. So we have Toller Manufacturing out in California that does all our shelters.
How long does it take one to complete a project?
Sadly, some of them take almost up to a year to do, between the design, the permitting, and then construction. Just the permitting can go hit or miss. Could be 6 weeks, could be 3 weeks. Some can be up to 6 months, depending on where it is, depending on the drainage, depending on any items that have to be affected.
I do agree, you do need to get us involved so we can expedite.
No,
some of
yes,
these
ma'am, I agree.
projects. But if we don't know and you don't reach out to us,
I'm going
it's a
to.
slow process.
I'm going to.
And I've been asking about this for the past 3 years. And I think today is going to be my last time asking, but I'm going to look for this to be expedited.
Yes, ma'am.
As of today. Thank you.
And I appreciate your help.
Anyone else? Okay, thank you very much, sir. We appreciate you. Thank you.
Chair.
And sir, any more of your report? That was it? Okay, great. Thank you very much. Thank you, sir, and thank everybody. Next is my report. First, I just found this out. Mr. Drainville, on August 5th, we were going to have an employee town hall. I got a federal mediation that day where I have to do some stuff. So I just emailed my office if we could do it August 6th. So I have other availability. So I was going to talk about that, but I unfortunately, my private sector, something got set over there, and yeah, and that was my bad. I didn't, in my legal practice, I didn't put that as set aside, so that was on me. So my apologies, but we will get that set very soon. So my apologies. I'd like to make a few announcements about our upcoming board meeting schedule. Due to a very light agenda for the August 4th board meeting, and take into consideration that staff will be able to present all items, including budget-related items at this meeting, we will be canceling the August 4th meeting. Staff will send cancellations later today. Secondly, a special board meeting, which is a hearing on impasse with the Teamsters Local 79, Article 6, Section 6.4 emergencies, and Article 41, Section 41.4 wages, scheduled for Tuesday, August 19th at 1:30. I believe that HART Board Counsel, Ms. McLean, has a statement for the board.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. Jan McLean, Board Counsel. As you are all aware, we've had conversations with you individually prior to the installation period going into effect to advise you of what the upcoming hearing and process will be. I'd like to respectfully remind all of the members at this time that as members of the legislative body that will be sitting as the legislative body on that date, communication restrictions are in effect and apply as a result of the HART Teamsters impasse pursuant to Florida Statute 447.403. Specifically, the Florida statute establishes an insulated period, which prohibits communications between the legislative body, yourselves, and the bargaining agent or its representatives regarding the issues at impasse prior to the legislative body's official resolution of the impasse. This prohibition is intended to preserve the integrity and neutrality of the legislative body's role as the decision-making authority in the impasse process. Accordingly, please, no ex parte communication or discussion, direct or indirect, with the Teamsters Local 79 or any HART representative concerning the impasse issues should occur outside of the formal hearing scheduled to resolve the impasse on August 19th, 2025, beginning at 1:30. We appreciate your attention to this matter and your continued compliance with the law. Should you have any questions regarding the scope of these restrictions on the impasse process, please do not hesitate to contact me. So I know this is, I feel like I'm wagging my finger. I am wagging my finger. Please be aware and cognizant of your communications with regarding this subject matter.
Thank you very much. Any questions on this? Any questions? Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yep. Okay, guys. Next is our HART Board Council report. Ms. McLean, if you have anything, ma'am.
I do not have anything additional.
Great. Okay. HART Board Committee reports are in Section 11. Reports from HART Board representatives are in Section 12. Information reports are in Section 13. Staff is present to answer any questions on the board. Is there any old business? Is there any new business? Okay, so if there's anyone else that wishes to speak or discuss anything, we hereby adjourn. I really hope that everybody has a wonderful Monday, and thank you for your hard work. Thank you.